In this video, I'd like us to talk about some Descript alternatives that you can use, especially now that Descript changed the way they kind of build some of the features in Descript. Now, Descript is an awesome product, but the way they are doing their calculations is going to cost you a ton of money, especially if you do a lot of editing. Now, people are looking for alternatives to some of the things, and I'll go to the pricing. And of contention here is what they're calling media hours right here. I'll actually even leave the AI credits out of it. But if you upload a video that is about an hour in length and it's audio, that's a cleaned up audio on the side as an individual item, let's say an hour, those are two files, 2 hours gone from your 30 media hours. Previously, that was not what used to happen, and this is not really the most ideal. If you accidentally uploaded a file that's about 6 hours, clearly 6 of your media hours are gone. So they've gone away from the model of transcription hours, that is what you wanted to transcribe, versus what you upload. So this is going to get pricey. They've gone ahead and done top-ups that you can top up. The top-ups are also extremely expensive. Now, Descript is a good product. The pricing and whatever they came up with, this 30 media hours or whatever AI credits things, and some of the features that were more or less free in paid versions, studio sound, eye correction, and so on, now more or less consume your AI credits. Yes, AI is working in the background and they are using a lot of resources, but probably not the most ideal, especially if you're working on a ton of content. So in this video, I'd like us to talk about what alternatives are there. And to begin, we're going to go to Riverside. Riverside is more or less a direct competitor to Descript. And please take a note that this video is not sponsored by anyone. I've just been mentioning some of the few alternatives that we have going on for people who want to create, or even if you're editing for your clients. Now, it's got more or less everything in Descript, but one of the most important things is the recording feature for online remote recording. It's one of the best. You can even live stream on YouTube and so on and so forth using Riverside. So it's one of the best. And if we actually look at it slightly, recording, editing, live streaming, webinars, the features, transcribing, magic clips, captions, magic audio, AI show notes, async recording, AI co-creator. It's just a ton of things that you can do with Riverside. So I'd highly recommend Riverside as the first option. A couple of things they need to kind of fine tune is their multi-track editing, and I know that's in the works. So this one is they're still fine tuning, but probably one of the best things that is in Descript is the text-based editing. So that's where they actually sold Descript to the whole world, and everybody loved it, including folks like Pat Flynn. So it's been a really awesome product, but the pricing is not the best. Now, that's the first one, Riverside. Number 2, I'll go with DaVinci Resolve. Now, please take a note that some of these programs, for example, Riverside is online based. Descript has a web-based version and a downloadable that is on desktop and on Mac. So as for DaVinci Resolve, there is a free version and there is a studio version. Now, the studio version is $295 lifetime access, including to updates and so on and so forth. DaVinci Resolve is free, has a ton of features, but some of the important features that are missing are automatic transcription, which is kind of now holding back the free version of DaVinci Resolve. But if you pair it with FireCut, that is the free version of DaVinci Resolve, and pair it with FireCut for DaVinci Resolve, this is what the features of FireCut look like. You can remove silences, remove repetition, add zooms, add animated captions, auto b-roll, auto edit podcast, remove filler words, remove profanity, add chapters, add voiceover, auto music, auto shots, and it supports over 50 plus languages for the transcription, and so on and so forth. So if you look at everything that we see here, this is more or less what you get when it comes to Descript. So animated captions, With Underload, you can do auto edit podcast. You can remove filler words, add zooms with the different features in Descript Underload. But some of these features here are more or less, for example, the auto edit podcast in FireCut saves you a ton of time. This is what they do with Underload. But if you try and use Underload, guess what they're going to do? Your AI credits are going to go down like crazy. But now, when we go to the pricing right here, and that's why I'm saying this may be an alternative. If you're going for the yearly, you go for 18. If you're going for the monthly, you build at 25. When you look at the pricing for Descript, go back up to whatever, let's go with monthly. The hobbyist is 24, and you get 10 media hours per month. So 24, this is 25. Now pair FireCut for DaVinci Resolve with the free version of DaVinci Resolve. You almost have your own version of Descript that is not overcharging you for basic features and so on and so forth. Now, DaVinci Resolve, the free version, plus FireCut, a good alternative. Now, the third option is DaVinci Resolve Studio, $295 lifetime access. You have automatic transcription. You can edit the video by editing the transcript, so text-based video editing. They have a ton of automatic captions with the different styles that are available. So that's the second good thing. AI noise removal. It's more or less the full-fledged video editing software used in Hollywood and so on and so forth. Now, the only downside might be the resource requirements of your computer. Maybe the interface may look intimidating to most people, but if you're not for paying all this sum of money, so for example, if you're doing an annual of this 24 by 12, that should give up almost $300+ or something. Just go for DaVinci Resolve. If your system requirements support it, you can do a ton of things without the limitation of the 30 media hours and so on and so forth and all those credits. And it has a ton of features. Masking, you can do a ton of things in DaVinci Resolve, and there are a ton of people doing all layouts and selling different layout packs, or you can even build your own for different things that you're doing, whether it's reels, whether it's like multicam, and they do have an automatic multicam feature that you can use. So for $295, you can go for DaVinci Resolve Studio, and better yet, you can actually get this and then pair it with FireCut. Now, as I mentioned, FireCut is available for DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, and you can see the features are more or less what we get in Descript, what we actually really used to use most of the times. Now, that's FireCut. Now, I do have another option here, and it's Camtasia. And the reason why it's open, despite them changing the way they charge, in a recent event they held called TechSmith Unlocked 2025, they mentioned that Camtasia Essential, this for $179 per year, is getting text-based video editing. Now, this is going to be a game changer, and it's going to be via their program, Camtasia Audiate. That's what they are calling it now, not Audiate only, Camtasia Audiate. And this is more or less going to be a game changer, especially if you're doing sit-down talking head videos to just help you edit video by editing text. This, I'd also recommend it. But if you actually want to even make it better, you go for the $249 version, because this one, text-based editing, automatic filler word removal, generate scripts from prompts, voiceover generation, 200+ voiceover options, customize voiceover mood, speed, accent. I believe they're using 11 labs there. Multi-language support. You can import scripts, and you can see what is included. Now, I'm sure they'll update Camtasia Audiate once they're done finalizing all the things they need to put right here. But before that particular update comes, it's important to always know that some of these different alternative options are available. Now, finally, I'd also recommend AutoPod.fm. But if you're using Adobe Premiere Pro, if you have Adobe Premiere Pro, AutoPod is similar to FireCut. They do more or less the same thing, and I'd highly recommend them as well. I've watched a ton of videos of multicam video editing using AutoPod, like doing an hour of video with multiple cameras being edited down in under 5 minutes. So I'd really recommend this AutoPod.fm as also an alternative for some of those things that can help you do the heavy lifting. Now, as for the pricing, it's $29 per month, but they give you a 30-day free trial. And you see AutoPod Multicam, Social Clip Creator, Jump Cut Editor, and so on and so forth. I feel that FireCut has more features, and it's by this guy, Ali Abdal, a huge guy on YouTube. If you can check him out as well, and what these can do. But as I've mentioned, those are some of the few good alternatives that more or less look like what we had in Descript before this particular option here. And as I mentioned, this can eat into your media hours like crazy. So if you're a freelancer and you get a ton of work, you may actually need to open up a couple of accounts because you're chewing up your media hours or your AI credits super fast. And until a time when Descript kind of rethinks this type of billing or consumption of the media, then I'd highly recommend that you try out Riverside.com. It's a best alternative online recording platform, editing, all those things that you want to do right here. It's more or less a mirror of Descript, but probably at a better rate. And I actually did not check the pricing, but this is the pricing. The Pro, you can see the different options right here. We go for DaVinci Resolve, the free version, pair it with FireCut. We also have the online. We also have DaVinci Resolve Studio, has a ton of features, automatic captions, text-based editing, captions, animated captions as well, AI silence removal, AI noise removal, automatic multicam. But if you'd like to also pair it with FireCut, you can do that. And then we've got Camtasia coming soon, Audiate right here for text-based video editing. So that if you're doing talking head videos, that can also work for you based on the pricing. And AutoPod, if you have like more or less Adobe Premiere Pro, but remember Adobe Premiere Pro is also a subscription, and it may be costly in the long run based on what you're working with. But some of the few I've mentioned, Riverside, DaVinci Resolve, plus FireCut and Camtasia in the long run will save you a ton of money. So those are some few Descript alternatives. If I get others, I'll do a sequel video for this, but that's it for now. Until next time, stay safe and never stop learning. Thanks for watching.